Welcome to Day 3, the assembly. When sewing princess bust seams together, you need to sew a row of stay stitching between the two notches on the center front. That's the straight side. This will allow you to clip the seam allowance to accommodate for the curve of the bust on the side front. I'm also sewing the back seams together at the same time because it is the same process as the front. Sewing tip number 1. If you ever have one side of the seam allowance that is a bit bigger than the other, you can ease it in while sewing by putting the fuller side down and letting the feed dogs ease it through the machine. Sewing tip number 2. Get a ham. Whether it's a sleeve roll or a big fat ham, get one as they are a must for pressing curved seams. Now that my seams are pressed open flat, it's time to sew the pleats in place. One good reason for the underlining is that it allows you to tack the pleats in place so they don't flop around. Sewing tip number 3. When doing any kind of hand sewing like this, or sewing on a button, use a 4-thread strand in your needle, as it is much faster and more secure than 2. On to the invisible zipper, and I'm going to show you an easy way I was taught to sew one in. You just need to make sure that your zipper extends 2 inches past the opening of whatever seam you're sewing it into. Just don't forget to press the teeth flat before sewing it in. Now sew down the right side using your regular presser foot because it will keep the teeth flat and you can stitch right in the ditch next to the teeth. And you want to sew past the opening an inch or so. Zip up the zipper a few inches and turn your garment over. Turn under the seam allowance and pinch it together with your thumb and index finger. Then flip it back over and pin the zipper tape to the seam allowance like this. Then unzip the zipper and insert the pull tab through the hole and pull it through. Now you see why it needs to be slightly longer than your opening because you will then be able to sew down the left side of the zipper. When you're done, you just grab the pull tab and pull it through the opening, and when you flip it over, you should have a nice flat seam, no puckers. Time to finish up with the pockets. Close the side seams and sew the pleats in place. And don't forget to clip your side seams at the waist curve.